it was like, yeah, that's probably what it's worth.
Yeah,
Obviously,
they've argued actually looking at it. I think they've crossed over. Snowflake had $1 billion quarter, so that's 4 billion, growing 26%. Databricks just said they're crossing 4 billion, growing 50.
yeah.
50 and 26 are they're pretty different. It actually makes Databricks sound undervalued if you think about it.
This is what I was just going to go and say, which is like, it actually feels undervalued at 25x revenue, given the growth rate, given the fact it's founder led, given the macro trend where it sits. It really feels like actually very reasonably priced.
I just love it. Just another cheap stock at 25x run rate. Again, it's all about growth persistence. I mean, because, it wants to, the interesting thing is every one of these bets is some version of, if you're paying 25x run rate for anything, what you're really saying is, the only thing you know for sure is that when things level out in growth rate, they get valued like normal companies. So implicit in that is some statement about how long this company can continue to grow at that kind of rate. So, if 2 more years at 50, 60%, you're golden. You've earned your way into the company, into the valuation. If that growth ever kind of plummets down, then you're high and dry like many of the 21 deals. So the valuation totally makes sense, provided that growth rate goes 50, 40, 35, 20, not some precipitous growth rate decline. That's the bet. So it resolves itself again to if the AI boom continues for 2 or 3 more years, all this it will be trading at that point 8 or 9 times run rate, and all will be fine. That's the bet in a sentence.
I actually interviewed Ron Gabrisco, their CRO. Astonishing guy, by the way.
He was there from almost the beginning, right? Almost the beginning.
0 to 4 billion in revenue as head of sales and CRO. He said they were 5 years ahead of Snowflake in the show. I thought it was just an inch. I said, like, technologically, how far ahead are you? He said 5 years. I thought it was interesting of him to state.
Yeah, I'll tell you a couple things. The one thing I thought is cheap. The other thing I was thinking is, Sam Altman said this week that one, they're going to spend trillions on infrastructure, but also that a lot of folks are going to lose a lot of money in AI. That there is a bubble. He said two things that aren't completely incongruous. But the other thing I thought when I looked at Databricks is, like, obviously it feels very bubbly right now, right? It feels like the best of times, but it might get better. And not just because OpenAI is going to continue to grow, but because let's look at comps. Okay. Databricks hasn't IPO'd yet, right? Databricks compared to Snowflake growing twice as fast at 4 billion. Figma and crazy IPO we just had, right? One of the reasons Harry's increased, but Canva might be even better. And maybe Stripe is accelerated. I don't know if Stripe's going to be better than Adyen, but let's imagine it's accelerating because of crypto and AI and mobile. We might get the next wave of IPOs that are even better very quickly. And the amount of froth that could create in the ecosystem, the amount of returns to LPs could create a bubble on top of a bubble, because times might just get much better in the next 12 months.
There's an interesting question to be had here, which is, given what we've seen with Figma, CoreWeave, and Circle, if you had the likes of Canva and Databricks go out,
they're better.
The public reception would be even more inflated.
Maybe. You could also argue that, just to make the counter argument, you could argue that a little bit of what's happening now is scarcity value